These tough times call for resilience. Summer feels over, but it is Grateful Monday.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever it is you are listening to the Hopefulist. I am grateful for you. It is Monday, September 21st, 2020, and the quote of the day, I have a gratefulness practice, and the practice is voice your admiration. Try this experiment with someone you know you will see today. Consider the many ways that you benefit from having this person in your life. Generously appreciate him or her. Offer your thanks with details and without reservation. Offer praise. There is no reason to hold back. Express your gratitude freely and often. Then notice what happens. Sounds good, right? I like it. Little experiment. Not only is gratitude awesome for your own life, it's awesome to spread it into others' lives as well. So, with that said, it is Grateful Monday. This is the day that we talk more about our gratitude, more than usual. And I share with you some of the entries from my own personal gratitude journal, some of the things I was grateful for this past week. And I'm noticing this more so now because I just got back from a vacation about 2 weeks ago. And boy, don't you all miss your bed when you're gone? Don't you miss your bed so much when you're on vacation? So now it's given me a new appreciation for my own super comfortable bed and my perfectly plumped pillow. So almost every night since I've been home, I get into my big, huge, comfortable bed with its awesome covers and, like I said, the perfectly plumped pillow. And I'm like, so good to be in my own bed. Your bed is a haven. Make sure you treat it that way. Joe and I made our first homemade pizza over the weekend. We got a new pizza stone. It turned out okay. It's not the greatest homemade pizza in the world. Certainly not the worst homemade pizza in the world. It was a fine job for our first go-round. And there will be many more to come. Friday night after we made homemade pizza, we had a nice little fire in our fire pit. That was nice. And you know what time of year it is, don't you? It's time for mums. That's right. I got me some mums everywhere. So I planted some up front and in the ground. And they're not looking as perky as the other ones that I did not remove from the pot they came in. So I'm a little concerned that they're not adjusting well to the change in environment, but I've got my fingers crossed because these are perennials and they should come back every year. So I'm very hopeful that they will survive. I've been giving them a lot of TLC, lots of extra water, hopefully not too much water. But you know, it's always like one of those things. How much money do I want to spend on mums? You know, like in the beginning of summer or spring or whatever, you know, you buy all these flowers because you know you're going to have them for months, right? But mums, they're going to be dead in like a month because the cold is going to kill them. And man, the cold came in this weekend here at the Jersey Shore. It went from super hot to downright cold. I mean downright cold. I got my slippers out. I love being barefoot. In fact, I still have my slippers on right now because when I woke up this morning, the temperature in the house was 63, and I will not be putting the heat on in September. I just can't. I cannot do it. I thought about it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. So I got my slippers on. I'm covered from head to toe practically. I got my long pants on, and I got my sweatshirt on, and even Tucker's cold. She got up this morning and went immediately to her bed on the floor, her actual dog bed, and I'm guessing that she feels a little bit warmer in that because, it's made out of an old comforter for your bed. So she kind of sinks down in it, and I'm guessing that makes her feel a little bit warmer because she has not moved from her spot in 2 hours. Over 2 hours. She has not moved. I even tried to get her to come on the couch with me, and I was going to wrap her in a blanket, and she just looked at me. She's like, nah, I'm good. I'm too cold to get up. So, yeah, it's chilly out. A little depressing. It's always so astonishing to me how Labor Day rolls around and the temperatures just change so drastically, at least in this part of the country they do. I know there's other areas that are still super hot, but it's like a light switch, you know? When's the last day of summer? Tomorrow? The next day? I mean, it's officially over tomorrow or the next day. But, yeah, fall is here. And, I'm not heartbroken over it. I mean, it's kind of nice to wear some really comfy, warm clothes. May even get out my Ugg boots today. Love my Ugg boots. Love them. My advice to you, spring for the leather. They last so much longer. So, yeah, we're warm and comfy and cozy. The heat has gone up to about 64 now, so we're making progress. I thought about turning it on just for a little bit, just to take the chill off, and then I thought, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So, with today being Grateful Monday, in lieu of a topic, I wanted to hear from you guys. What are you grateful for? I posted this last night. Jay Shetty, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's a big personal development and health guru. He says gratitude literally boosts your immune system. It boosts creativity. It boosts your mood. Gratitude has so many benefits. So I wanted to hear from you. Let's go into the new week with gratitude. Tell me something that you're grateful for right now. Diane says, I'm grateful for so much, but mostly for being cancer-free for 13 years and for having a husband that has a heart of gold. Diane, we are cheering you on. You go, girl. Lynn says, I'm grateful for a job I love. Yes, that's a rarity these days. Kate says, I spent the weekend with my son down the shore celebrating his 21st birthday. Grateful to have kids that like to hang out and spend time together. Absolutely. Adele says she's grateful for beagles. She's got 2 beagles. Super cute. Michelle says, I'm grateful for a weekend spent with those that I love, something that should never be taken for granted. Marcy says, the township fixed the broken and missing sidewalk squares along my running route. Marcy, kudos to you. This is what we're talking about. This is the kind of thing that can just brighten your whole day if you focus on a little thing like that and just be grateful for it. And Janet, the sweetheart, who I met last year at a conference, said that she's grateful for your inspiration, meaning me. So thank you for that, Janet. Very, very sweet. And you know what? Back at you, girl. She's got her own page and her own little line of work that she's working on as well. So we swap inspiration from time to time. I had met Janet because we're both early risers. And I would get up first thing in the morning in the hotel, and I'd go downstairs, grab a cup of coffee, and she'd be sitting there in the lobby with a bag full of books. And I just kind of, started chatting with her, and she said, yeah, I just always get up really early and I read. And since, my husband's with me and I don't want to wake him up, I figured I would leave the hotel room and come down to the lobby and do some reading. So I got to know her over the course of a couple of days, and I'm grateful that she came into my life. Yesterday was Sunday football. That was another thing I was grateful for. I'm loving the football being back. You know, it was such a nice, calm day. We had gotten together with some friends over the weekend, so we just kind of chilled a little bit yesterday, watched a little football. Joe and I, both our teams, big old losers. And right after the Eagles game was over, they switched to the Dallas Cowboys game, who was playing Atlanta, right? And Atlanta was about to win the game. And the Cowboys were staging a comeback, and they did an onside kick, and Atlanta just watched them pick up the ball. They didn't try to get the ball. They just kind of stared at the ball, and they're like, what do I do with that ball? I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to leave it. And then they came back and won the game. Yeah. And then I found it very interesting. The first thing I saw this morning when I turned on the news was the newscaster, Matt O'Donnell. If you're from the Philly area and you watch Channel 6, he says, minutes after that ugly Eagles loss came this kick in the face, and then went to highlights from the Dallas Cowboys game. Yeah, exactly how I feel, Matt. Oh, my gosh. It was a literal kick in the face to have to see that after the brutal loss we all have already suffered. So I'm not sure if Washington played or not. I haven't caught up with that. But I know that Washington has at least one game won under their belt. Now the Cowboys have won. The Giants and the Eagles still winless. I don't know what kind of season it's going to turn out to be. You know what? I don't even care. I'm just grateful to watch it. Is it better to watch it when they win? Well, yeah, of course it is. Duh. But I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Just grateful to watch some live football, regardless of the conditions. Regardless of the conditions. So what are we going to be talking about today? That's right, the blog post. Oh, you know what I wanted to get to real quick? The Emmys. Anybody watch the Emmys last night? Very different this year, obviously. They had some people there, not many, a couple people there. A couple of, little comedy bits with Jason Bateman, which was very cool. Jennifer Aniston was there, and then reportedly at home, they had a little Friends mini reunion with Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, and Lisa Kudrow. So that was fun. If you do not watch Schitt's Creek, well, you're up it, because that's the only show that won an award for the first hour. I believe they practically swept the comedy awards. Every single person on that show. And then when it came to the last person to be nominated for a category, and I almost was thinking, when they were announcing the winner, gosh, if it's not the one from Schitt's Creek, the girl who plays, I believe it's the girl who plays the sister. I said, if she doesn't win, she's going to be the only person on the entire show that didn't win, because every single person on that show won for their category. But she won too, so it's one big happy family for sure. Billy Crudup won for the morning show, which I was ecstatic about. I was a little upset that the morning show didn't get a little bit more love because, like I've said, if you have not had a chance to check it out, it is on Apple. I know not everybody has Apple. It was just so good. So intense, so provocative, it elicited so many feelings. Good, bad, and the ugly, So Jennifer Aniston did not win in her category. Poor girl just can't get an award. She really can't. She's gotten a couple, but not many. But yeah, just wanted to mention the Emmy Awards. A lot of the shows that won in the drama area I have not seen, so I can't really comment much about the winners. There was a particular show that was winning a lot of awards that I have not seen. So Zendaya also winning an award for a show I haven't seen, but I do like Zendaya very much. She's very she's just cute as a button, that one. I just love her. She's in one of my favorite movies of all time, The Greatest Showman. And there was one award, again, just one, a little shocking, for Ozark, which was Best Supporting Actress and I didn't even recognize her at first, honest to God, because I DVR'd the last part of it. So she was one of the last people to win. And when they put the camera on her, I'm like, is that the one who plays the daughter? I'm like, I'm not sure. And I went back to, because since I DVR'd it, I was fast forwarding through everything. So I just went back to see the actual nominations. And it's the one who plays, the woman who plays Ruth. Yes, of course. She's fantastic. She looked completely different. She was dressed up in Roaring 20s gear with her husband, which I thought, and she seemed so humble and so appreciative of her award. So just wanted to mention a few things about the Emmy Awards. Kudos to Jimmy Kimmel for trying to make it work without a live audience. So that had to be difficult. You don't know when your jokes bomb, but then you don't know when your jokes bomb. So it's good and bad. Moving on to the blog post for today, we're talking about resilience. Yes, that's right. Our focus on persistence. We've been talking about that all month. And we can't talk about persistence without talking about resilience. The definition of resilience, the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It's about toughness. How tough are you? Do you want to build that toughness muscle? Let's see what we can do. This is the best possible time to talk about resilience because, this year, it's been hard. It's been a difficult one for everyone in one way or another. We face the truth with how fragile our health can be. We've realized that even when we do everything we're supposed to, do all the things, something like a global pandemic can come along and wipe everything away. We've been encouraged to stay home to stop the spread. We've seen everything in our world close. We may have lost our job because of it. We may have had to close our business because of it. We have had to adjust to a life of solitude. Normal is not a word we have used much this year. It's all different. And now that life is finally starting to get somewhat back to the way it used to be, on even the most basic level, a second wave is lurking. Yes, Europe is putting restrictions back in place. They are a little ahead of us when it comes to this virus. So if they're starting to put restrictions back in place, we may not be far behind. The concern, obviously, that this pandemic is far from over. It's time to dig in, though, and see how we want the next few months of our lives to go. What is different in your life? What's still working? Are you still working? If not, did you find an alternate source of income? One of the only bits of good news this year is if you did lose your job, there was all sorts of state and federal aid to help get you through. Take it from someone who has had to utilize unemployment several times. Additional federal funds and extensions are the bomb. It's a cushion that is needed at this time when everything is so uncertain. But what is your next step? Are you thinking about how you can move forward in the future? Are you a server, a bartender, work in a gym, movie theater, or somewhere else that may be subject to future closures? Are you considering another line of work that may not be so susceptible to such things? This is the time. Time to consider a line of work that isn't so dependent on these outside forces. At the very least, a side hustle. Do something on the side. Time to use your noodle and think outside the box. What direction is the best one for you to move toward? It's a scary time. Look, I get it. I've felt it. Luckily for us, my husband's job is considered essential, so we haven't taken the financial hit that many have faced. but what can you do or offer that is something only you can do? Is there a line of work you can pursue that is pandemic proof, or even better, recession proof? Is there something you can do from home that you never considered before? Even like I said, start with a little side hustle, a little something on the side. Is there a way to benefit from the pandemic? Is there something that you could do that could help other people deal with the pandemic? Think about it. Can you offer something that people are willing to pay for? Consider all options. The thing about resiliency is recovery. How do you recover when things go wrong? How do you bounce back? What are the next steps to take? How can you make yourself whole again? I am a warrior when it comes to resiliency. I am the champion. I've had to bounce back so many times in my chosen field of work. I'm in a field where jobs don't last a long time. There are also many factors that have nothing to do with how I do my job that can affect it. I've lost my job many times due to budget cuts, as is the case with a lot of us, contract disputes within companies, changes in ownership, and various other reasons. And each and every time it has happened, I have been left devastated. But I kept getting myself up, brushing myself off, and getting back to doing what I do. Because it is my chosen field, and I love what I do. Now, there are people in my business who have had the same job for 20 years. And it always makes me wonder, why them? Why not me? It's a question I will never get an answer to. But it makes me question whether I am good at what I do. Is that why I've had so much trouble in my career? Believe me when I say I have questioned that many times through the years. But the radio business is a tough one. And honestly, only the strong can survive. For every person who has a job for 20 years, there's tens of thousands that lose their job every year. There's many people who don't get a shot at all in this business. And I've made it work for the past 25 years. Yes, I'm doing something right. But every layoff is a blow. It always makes me question everything. But then I get up, I go again. There's always another direction to go as well. There's always another option to consider. There's always something we can do. We just have to have an open mind and explore every opportunity. Don't get stuck thinking there is only one way you can go. That is not true. There are a million different directions you can go. You just have to figure them out and then pursue them. It's not easy. It's not something that always works the first time around. But there are so many options available. It's time to just figure out the best one for you moving forward. Your life is always in your hands, and no one will take care of you like you. So do what you can to make sure you have as much control as possible to your outcomes. A little food for thought. A little food for thought. I will mention the last time I was let go from my job was particularly devastating. I feel as if I was treated unfairly, but hey, you know what? It happens all the time. So when I was questioning what I did and what went down and how I wanted to move forward, I decided to do so in a way that I wouldn't be subjected to such unfairness anymore. I decided to try working for myself. I do this podcast. Then I'd been working on becoming a public speaker. Hello, COVID. Yes, another curveball. I managed to get a speaking event in, but no indoor gatherings of more than a certain amount of people. And when I am indoors, they require you to have a mask on, which is very debilitating to a speaker. Not good for the speaking events. Yeah, I just have to keep pushing pushing forward in ways that touch people, but not personally, but not in person. It was something I needed to adjust to once again. There is always something that comes along that throws all of our plans off track. That is when it is time to go in another direction. When you assess the situation and see how you can either work around it or make it work for you anyway. One thing I have figured out for sure in the past year is there are all types of ways to make money other than reporting to work every day from 9 to 5. Give it a little thought today. You know why? Because today is Monday. And it is my favorite day of the week after Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's a brand new week full of possibilities and opportunities. Now get to taking advantage of them. You have it in you. I know you do. Get on out there and be your badass self. You know I'm cheering you on.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit Hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.
Be resilient.